I had to throw away my predictions like halfway into this Golden Globes and just enjoy the ride because these Golden Globes got weird. I don't mean someone slapped anyone, I just mean like no one expected certain people to win, and some of them might change the game for the Oscars moving forward, some of them might not. The thing I enjoy about the Golden Globes is that they're the first award ceremony in this awards circuit that comes at the beginning of each year. They're the first precursor that helps you kind of guess who's going to win later on in ceremonies like the Oscars. And it gives you that excitement of watching stars or movies that you just watched throughout the year win things for the first time. And often they do correlate to Oscar wins, but sometimes they just like to go on their own weird tangent, and I feel like that's what happened this year. And since then, the Golden Globes like to occasionally be silly, but in truth, I don't love being right all the time when I'm predicting award ceremonies like this, but sometimes I want my favorites to win. That's just how it is. And occasionally the Golden Globes throw in a curveball or two or three or four that don't really end up influencing the rest of the ceremonies at all. I think back at when Andra Day won the Golden Globe for Best Drama Actress for the United States versus Billie Holiday and didn't win in any of the other ceremonies at all, most of which she wasn't even nominated in. Let's start with my favorite wins of the night. Zoe Saldana was the very first person to get up on that stage with a Golden Globe in her hand, and that was for Emilia Perez. I really hope this means she's going to win everywhere else. I don't see who's going to beat her at this point. Like, as soon as you see the list of nominees, I didn't think Felicity Jones was going to win, but I think she was the only one who was nearly as good as Saldana. She's just so terrific and lively and soulful and energetic in this film, and she gave such an emotional speech. Sometimes, like, I feel like they give people Oscars just based on who gave the best speech in the precursors. And so Zoe Saldana definitely solidified her Best Supporting Actress Oscar with this. Adrian Brody also gave a wonderful speech, and I was really hoping he was going to win. And this is, I think, the win that he needed to solidify himself as a lock for Best Actor. And Best Actor is an excellent category this year. I mean, he went up against people like Ralph Fiennes in Conclave, Colman Domingo in Sing Sing in this category. A lot of people thought maybe Timothée Chalamet would take this home because the Golden Globes love their music biopics, but I think the fact that they loved Adrian Brody so much that they gave this to him anyway, even though it's not a music biopic, means he's winning Best Actor. I'm really glad The Brutalist took home the categories that I wanted it to, except for one, which we'll get to in a moment. And I love the Emilia sweep on the musical comedy side, as well as original song and so on. Now let's talk about the surprises. First of all, Sebastian Stan for A Different Man. Mad respect for that win. I don't know if this means like they'll consider him at the other ceremonies, but he was great. I love that movie. Awesome. The one that I think does shake things up though for the later ceremonies is Demi Moore in The Substance. This one really caught me by surprise because I was fully expecting to hear Mikey Madison's name come out of that envelope. And if not, then Carla Sofia Gascon. I thought this whole award season was going to be those two dueling it out. Now, Demi Moore has won the Golden Globe, and after seeing how her speech has been received, I loved her speech. She wouldn't have been my personal pick in the category, even though I think she's excellent in the film. I hope she at least gets nominated for the Oscar. But I've let it sink in for a couple hours, and now I think she might win. And I didn't even think that The Substance was going to be that big of an awards contender until the Golden Globe nominations poured out. Now I think there's a good shot it even gets nominated for Best Picture. So with Demi Moore being such an admired actress for however many years she's been around, and this being her career-defining role now, it being such a beloved and acclaimed performance from the industry and from fans of genre films and of this whole award season, I think Demi Moore has what it takes to take it all the way. And maybe this is like a one-off and the Golden Globes only pick her, but I think SAG, there's a lot of potential there, and I feel like if she gets one more, then she wins. There were a few surprises, though, that I didn't enjoy. I was fully ready to celebrate The Wild Robot winning Best Animated Film, It might be the best animated movie of the last couple of years, if we're being honest. Look, I haven't seen Flow. I'm sure it's terrific, and I want to get around to it. I just really, really love The Wild Robot, and I really wanted to see it win. I still think The Wild Robot could win the Oscar. There have been times in the past where the Golden Globes were the only ceremony to award a certain animated movie, but I still have some PTSD from The Boy and the Heron beating Spider-Verse at both the Golden Globes and the Oscars last year. Also for screenplay, I was hoping Sean Baker would win this one for Anora. I was really hoping Sean Baker would get a chance to give a speech tonight. I was hoping it would be here and Brady Corbett would win Best Director, which he did, which I'm very glad he did. Piers Strawn ended up winning for Conclave, which I still think is a great choice. Again, I would have probably gone with Anora in this category. I thought maybe even The Substance could have pulled this one off. I do think for now, Conclave has secured its spot as the frontrunner to win adapted screenplay, but I also don't think we should rule out the possibility of Sing Sing coming in later and giving it a run for its money. And one more thing, as much as I like the Challengers score, really wouldn't have been my pick. This was such a terrific category. All 6 of the nominees for Best Score this year. This is a big step up from the last couple years of Best Score nominees. Don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of Challengers and of the score, but I think it's like the weakest or second weakest score in this really strong category. I really hoped The Brutalist would win this, and if not, then Emilia Perez. And I still think that The Brutalist is going to win everywhere else, or at least at the end at the Oscars for Best Original Score. I don't think Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross are already going to win their 3rd Oscar, especially because Soul was only in 2020. And before this win, I honestly thought it wasn't even a given that Challengers would get nominated for score or any Oscars category. I really do want it to be nominated, but I really don't think it should win over The Brutalist, Conclave, or Emilia Perez's Music, which I think are all far better. On the TV side, Shogun swept, which I was really happy about. Hacks won Best Comedy, which I think was very well deserved, and Jean Smart, the legendary Jean Smart, winning again for her portrayal of Deborah Vance. I do kind of wish that Hannah Einbinder had won Supporting Actress as well, but I understand how great Jessica Gunning is in Baby Reindeer. The one surprise for TV for me is Colin Farrell winning for The Penguin. I really thought this was going to be Richard Gadd's award for Baby Reindeer, Best Actor in a Miniseries. My personal pick would have been Andrew Scott for Ripley, but look, Colin Farrell's magnificent as the Penguin, so I can't complain. Look, at the end of the day, this ceremony was fine. Some films that I love won. Some categories I would have changed the winners, but I will say my favorite part of the night was Anthony Mackie and Harrison Ford's little bromance on stage, and Anthony Mackie's bromance with Sebastian Stan later backstage. If you haven't seen what I'm talking about, look up the backstage interviews with Sebastian Stan that Anthony Mackie crashes. It's my favorite thing now. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in to my Golden Globes recap. Let me know what you think the state of the Oscar race is now, particularly Best Actress with Demi Moore's chances skyrocketing. So a lot of interesting categories. Let me know where you agree or disagree with me, and let me know which wins made you happiest and most upset throughout the night.